All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Citizens of YouTube, Pastor Dow had a very interesting conversation, and it's something that really truly to be thought on and never let it slip. I was talking to some people and I said, let me ask you a question. Right now, we assume that the grid is never going to go down. We all are aware of EMPs, electromagnetic pulses. We understand that. We all are familiar with this. But have you even thought about what the United States of America would look like if the whole entire electrical grid went down for 30 days? First of all, there will be so much death just because of the hospitals alone, and people plugged up in the hospitals and nursing rooms and nursing homes and just that totally depend on it. The generators can't run forever. If it's 30-day grid down, that means everything stops. Transportation stops. It may take a few days for it to stop, but within a week and a half, man, it's over with. And the trucks will stop running to the stores. The stores will no longer be replenished with food because, after all, they got us 100% totally dependent upon the system. When I start talking about growing your own gardens, hunting, be a hunter-gatherer, be a man of husbandry, getting back to the old paths and the old ways, I thought about it. So then I started thinking about what would America look like if there's no electricity for 90 days. I'm going to tell you what it's going to be, 100% total chaos. Somebody is going to think, and it's going to enter into their mind, you're going to have a roving band of bandits. They're going to think that everything you've ever amassed, everything you've ever done, it belongs to them. There's going to be total anarchy. The police, there's what? I don't know. The police force is a tenth of the 360 million people that are here in this country. You're going to have a way to defend yourself, your homestead, your family. And if you don't have any food storage, you're going to have to find some food somewhere. And by that time, all this so-called morality that people think that they have, all this righteousness that they deceive themselves in thinking, and then all this arrogance, all this pride, all this heady and high-minded lifted up, and all this wicked thoughts that go on today. And I had people take me on the chin when I said, and I clearly said it, listen, when the grid goes down, crap hit the fans, don't come the straight way, because you're not going to be welcome. Immediately, what kind of people are y'all? I'm like, isn't that amazing? What kind of people are you? That's the real question. See, here's my perspective. I'm going to give you my natural perspective, then I'm going to give you a biblical perspective. The natural perspective is this. What kind of heightened sense of selfishness is that? When you've had time to prepare, you've had time to get your homestead right, you had time to get your home right, because if you're living in the city, you ain't gonna get right. That's all there is to it. There's too many conveniences, too many things to relax your mind and your conscience. You can forget it. You just ain't gonna get right. It's designed that way. It's designed to lull your sleep and to not make you very keen on preparation and preparing. It just ain't there. And you don't see a need for it, because you go to bed, you wake up, you go to bed, wake up, and everything's the same. And you just assume that there's never going to be a Great Depression or something like that. But it's a heightened sense of selfishness for you to sit up there and know that I'm preparing and you don't prepare, and you believe that you're invited to come to my front door and take up all the resources and eat up all my resources and drink up all my resources just so that you and your family could survive when you was not man enough to survive. It ain't gonna happen. The second part is biblically. Jesus spoke about a particular subject in the book called the 5 wise and the 5 foolish. There were 10 virgins. And in this polygynous relationship, these 10 virgins was waiting for one master to come back. And when the shout went out, everybody knew that the master was coming. So the unwise went to the wise and says, give us some oil, give us some of the oil in your lamps. No, they say all of it, just give us some. The wise replied and says, can't do it. Can't do it. You know where to go and you know where to buy. I cannot give you the oil that we have, even a little bit of it. Because if I do, I may not have enough for myself when the bridegroom comes. See the analogy? Y'all see where I get my perspective from? Where some of you think that I'm cold, hard, cool, cruel, and callous? No. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. And there's going to be a lot of reaping and a lot of sowing. Because, look, we like in the days of Noah. That's what the book says. You know, men were eating, they were drinking, they were marrying, they were giving in marriage, and they knew not until the day of the flood. That's the same thing that's going on right now. The same thing is going on right now. Once the master rises up and shuts to the door, there ain't a lot of people going to go in. The prepared and the wise are going in, but the foolish is not. And that's why I keep saying, man, this mindset has got to change out here in this world. This attitude, this lethargic, this lazy, this apathetic, this complacent mindset has got to go. It's cancerous. I'm telling you, woe unto you that are at ease in Zion. And it's making a lot of people turn back to the weaker, beggarly elements of this earthly thing, and the very things you trust in just simply ain't going to be there. They just simply ain't. But the virgins, the 10 unwise virgins, they went. And as they went, the bridegroom came. So they still missed the boat. Even though, now, here's the analogy. They already knew where to go. They already knew where to buy. And they already knew what they need to do. But yet, when they had an opportunity to do it, they didn't do it. And they wasn't going to do it. And again, look at the analogy of the unwise. They thought that they could go to the 5 wise and get of their resources. That they spent their time, energy, and effort compiling, making themselves ready, getting themselves ready. You can use this analogy in the natural or the spiritual. Either way it goes, it's still fine. It's still the truth. And I tell you, there's a lot of mindsets up here that's got to be changed. You should be prepared. You should go back to yesterday years and learn how to can like our grandmothers and grandfathers did, and our great-grandmothers and great-grandfathers did. You should do and live in such a manner that you can grow your own food, that you don't have to depend on the system. Spring, summer, winter, and fall. There are fall gardens. You can put up everything. I'm telling you, it still grows. I know. We have a greenhouse. We grow food year-round. But this mindset, it has got to change. If it doesn't change, you go ahead and look at those children and those wives that y'all got out there and watch that belly start hitting their spine and watch people dying of starvation, which is extremely painful. And it's going to come up into your mind that Pastor Dow told you so. I hope I said something to stimulate thought, put a defibrillate on your mind. That is my prayer. You have a blessed day. The King is coming.